Welcome to another episode of Fast Casual Nation. Now, Asian has been a challenge in fast casual. There hasn't been many that have been able to break the ice. We're here in Miami today checking out a place called Sakaya Kitchen. We're gonna check these guys out and what makes their Asian fare really rock fast casual. Richard, so here we are at Sakaya Kitchen in Midtown Miami. Tell us a little about who you are and what you do here at Sakaya.
This was a concept that I literally thought up over the weekend. I had spent a lot of time in Asia backpacking, working at places that I love the food, and then I would say, hey, can I work there 1 or 2 days? And they would either tell me to get the heck out of there, or I would be there working, learn new techniques. I lived in New York, and Little Korea, Chinatown, like eating for many, many years. And I went to the French Culinary Institute. I worked for Jean-Georges at Vong. So many years of that and, learning how to balance Asian food. I mean, I think that's the key, the sweet and the sour, the spicy, as salty, being able to do that and then to understand like how to use the ingredients and then applying like really sophisticated techniques. We use immersion circulators, we have chamber sealers, we cure our own meats, we pickle vegetables, and we bring everything to where it's about 5 minutes away. So whether we're curing, roasting, circulating, it's ready to go hopefully within about 5 minutes that you order it. And then you may get a sandwich that the duck that's inside of it is a 30-hour process leading up to it, and we sell it for $8.
That seems to be kind of a trend that has been evolving over the past few years. Is fine dine chefs. Obviously your street cred from New York, working with some pretty amazing talent in New York City, and bringing that down to a really approachable concept in fast casual. So you're really being able to bring a ton of flavors and creativity and. I think, how do the consumers, do you feel like, how do they connect with this? Is this something that they just like, wow, this is amazing?
Yeah, I mean, we've been very fortunate. In the first month that we opened here, it was difficult because people were looking at the menu and not really understanding it. I was very belligerent about it. I was like, you are not changing the menu. You're going to eat it first or you're going to get out. It's not the best thing. I don't do that anymore, but we've been very fortunate in Miami. I mean, I think we helped change a direction here on Asian food. That's the goal of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to create an American restaurant's version of quality food that you would find whether on the street or in a restaurant in Asia, bringing those flavors back, using like modern techniques that I learned, French techniques that I learned, and then delivering it in this, like you order at the counter and you get it in a basket.
I think with a lot of fast casual concepts, they're in kind of a phase right now where they're starting to educate. Do you find consumers today are really embracing that? Just saying like, hey, I'm going to test anything out now.
I think so, because my goal was to set out to have like an everyday restaurant, not a special occasion. Coming from fine dining, a lot of special occasion dining. So I wanted a place, and I really wanted to feed myself. I wanted to go to a place that, whether I was coming from the gym or I was just wanted a quick lunch or I wanted to sit around and have a beer and have my lunch, but really quality food, but only spend $15. That was my point in, but there's a lot of quality here. We buy from local farms. We use all natural meat and poultry, and we're doing everything in-house. We don't buy anything bottled and then have it on the table or put it in the food. We make it from scratch.
Well, talking about food, we have to try some of this stuff out. I definitely am excited to see your creativity brought into a fast casual space. Let's take a look at the food. So now we get a chance to really kind of understand what Sakaya is really about, which is the food. When you look at developing these kind of menu items, I mean, how complex are these? How hard is it for a chef to come in here and just like blow this up? Can you replicate this?
I mean, we can replicate it. There's a lot of like twists and turns in the recipe. It looks straightforward here on the bowl and then on paper, but there's a lot of technique and there's a lot of steps behind that bring it to this point. You may not know that there's 3 sauces in that.
Okay.
That we cured that pork for 30 hours. How long we roasted. We make our own kimchi. The recipe that I have for my version of house-made kimchi. Those are what I think make Sakaya Kitchen unique.
Richard, what seems to be the hot items right now here at Sakaya?
I mean, this is one of them. This is our bosam. It's our 8-hour roasted pork. We cure the meat, like I said. It's taken from the traditional Korean pork belly with oyster, kimchi, bosam, and this is like my version. Mixing sort of like me being an American,
right.
Really getting a good char on meat. Because the traditional one's boiled. This one is, char-broiled and has a great bark on it from the roasting and, the grilled shrimp. It's sweet, it's spicy. It's always a good one.
Absolutely. And banh mi is, of course, that's kind of, it's been around a while, but, a lot of people are experimenting for the first time. I mean, how is the consumers kind of adapting to that product?
This is, a banh mi bao, so we don't have the traditional French baguette on it. But inside, you have pate. We do korabuta pork belly, which is a heritage pig pork belly that we chamber seal in spices and then sous vide it for 8 hours. And then we grill it to order. So this is a softer presentation of it. You don't have that crusty baguette, but we've been open for 5 years now, and this has been on since the first year.
Yeah.
And people know it, and it has all those flavors. Instead of carrots or vegetables you typically find in a banh mi, we do kimchi carrots. We make our own pickles. We make like a quick pickle in there, so that brings like the freshness, all the herbs.
And you talk about cross-utilization here in fast casual, being able to have such an expansive menu like that. How are you pulling that off with like the fried chicken and
Right.
everything you're doing with this is your mom's recipe?
This is my grandmother's recipe. Papa, they're called Papa's egg rolls. I don't know why we called her Papa, but that's my Filipino grandmother. It's unusual because inside there's shrimp and pork, but there's also green beans, celery, bean sprouts, and onions, and then a lot of black pepper. It's a very unusual recipe. And then those wrappers come from the Philippines. We actually get them through our distributor.
Wow.
They're wheat lumpia wrappers. But I updated her version. She, I use local farm, green beans and things like that, and that goes inside heritage pig, pork, high quality shrimp and things like that. But,
absolutely. Well, and I think that's the key right now is, when you look at the amount of ingredient levels that are rising in fast casual,
Right.
And we've started to see this evolution really start with ingredients, local sourcing, guys like yourself that are really bringing a lot of creativity into the game. This, I think, is what the future of fast casual is.
Awesome.
I hope you guys start to pull some of these in some other parts of here in South Florida. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, we're, like we talked about scaling, we're doing our part to kind of fill the gap. And, we're all about just making good food.
Yeah.
Getting people in and comfortable environment and, having a high-end chef make, stuff that you can get $15.
Absolutely. Richard, this has been a blast. Thanks for letting us stop in here at Sakaya Kitchen on another episode of Fast Casual Nation.
Thank you.
We got to dig in.
Yeah, go ahead. It's all you.